I'm good, thanks. I had a great night's sleep.
It was a great day yesterday.
It was. Mud crab racing,
helicopter
flight,
and it was ended up what was going to be a bloody big fizz. Ended up into a pretty good day.
Yep.
So this is almost part 3 of the trip, because we had the first part was sort of getting to Lake Argyle to meet up with the photography tour.
Yes.
Then there was the photography tour. And now this is like the leg home. What we are doing now is we've got our permits to come back up through the Great Central Road. So we've got quite a bit of time, and we're going to work our way down the West Australian coast into Leonora, I believe is the town, and then from there, we have to pause here for a minute because I'm going to try road train heading south. Do you copy? Yeah, can you give us a shout when you reckon it's clear to go?
Just keep coming, mate. Keep wide open up here.
Go for it.
Thank you. Oh, there we go. Cool.
Just passing a road train.
Just passing the road train, sorry. We just got a little bit interrupted. You should watch that third trailer, because I don't think they do. Yeah, it's sucked in. There we go. Now we're past it. We get past the truck and the trailers, and good on you. Thanks for that.
Enjoy.
Yeah, part 3. So now we're working our way down somewhere around about 80 Mile Beach.
Possibly.
Possibly. We really don't have any fixed destination.
Because we didn't decide which way we were going home until we got some permits.
Until we got the permits.
Which was not until yesterday, day before?
Day before, yeah. So now it's just a matter of, well, this is the way we're going to go home. So we've got about 20 days, 19, 20 days or
20 days, something like that.
To do that, so we can just take our time. You know, all information is that any of the holiday destinations out here, the caravan parks are like, if you haven't already booked, then don't bother coming. We've made a couple of calls this morning which are more like roadside stops and taverns and things, and they've all got room at this stage, so I don't think it'll be a problem. So we're going to work our way through to Leonora and then back up through Laverton, and then the Great Central Road. So this is all sort of, for want of a better word, this is all virgin territory for us.
Yep.
So we're quite looking forward to being able to have a look around, take a little bit of time to do it. Anything you want to add, Liz?
I'm looking forward to exploring a little bit of this country. Not that we're going to, have time to do a lot of exploring. It's all new territory. Never been here before.
And possibly we'll mark some spots.
Yep.
Anything that didn't happen to, caught our eye that we want to come back to. So when we can come back and spend some significant time in the area,
we will.
We'll already have a few marks and things. So we're looking forward to that. All right. Well, we'll just poodle on, and hopefully we'll get a bit of footage and stuff during the course of the day. And we'll see you later on. Bye. Well, armed with our permits, we head south. We were looking forward to this, as we know what it's like to visit places for the first time. Well, we're going to be doing a fair bit of this for the next 2 weeks before we make our way back into the Northern Territory and Queensland. As we proceed, the light clouds start to build into some nasty looking rain clouds. A quick weather update identifies a low heading across the coast quite a bit further north than us, but some rain was expected in the area. We can't complain as this was the first rain that we'd seen since we left Brisbane. We finally arrive at this little gem called 80 Mile Beach. Once set up, we head to the beach and oh my god, this place is fantastic. It's a short walk to the beach and viewing platforms, a popular place come sunset one would think. Some information boards tell the story of the migratory birds, some travelling over 20,000 kilometres from their breeding grounds in Northern Asia and Siberia to spend September through October to feed on mud animals such as crabs, molluscs and worms hiding in the mudflats. As well as this, it's a nesting site for the flatback turtle between November and December. First thing in the morning, we have a look at our map to see if we can spend a couple of days here without stressing ourselves out too much. And we can, so we do.
From Docker River. Yep, so that one there. So from Docker River. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Liz.
lovely night's sleep at the 80 Mile Beach Caravan Park last night.
What a cracker of a spot.
Yeah.
It was, well, we were only going to stay one night, and we got the van all set up in a nicely grassed, unpowered site. Went for a walk up the hill over the dunes. They got some little platforms, and we went, oh my god. So we had a bit of a scrummage around on the beach, and then we went back and decided that, yeah, we couldn't leave this tomorrow, so we booked for another night. That gave us sort of all yesterday to have a bit of a wander up the beach, do some, listen to a load of washing. So we went for a walk up the beach to get some shells, or have a look for some shells, and we found some nice ones, some nice little collection of shells. So we've got up this morning, and we go back a little bit. We met up with some people from Western Australia with a little T-van, and we had a bit of a chat to them, and they've come up through
The Hillside Marble Bar Road. They came up.
Anyway, we had to get fuel at Pardue, so we've actually missed the turn-off. It's about 43 k's further back, but there is another road, this one, which is the
Shady Gap.
Shady Gap Road, which links back up to the one that they were on. And by all accounts, they've said it's a very bloody pretty drive, so we thought, well, as opposed to the black stuff, we would sneak down this way and then come into Marble Bar from a slightly different direction. So, yeah, that's where we're at.
So I think I might have led you astray. I think it was the borderline.
Yeah, they did the borderline, that's what they did.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, so they came up the borderline track,
Yeah.
and that's 43 kilometres back from where we had to get fuel.
Yeah.
But this particular one is just out of Pardue, and it links back up
To the borderline.
to the borderline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it becomes this road, the Shady Gap Road.
Apparently it goes through part of the cliffs called the Shady Gap, which is the only part that you can get through. So
Yeah.
it's going to be apparently quite pretty.
Quite pretty, yeah. So they've suggested that as like a morning tea stop, which will probably be a late morning tea stop. This is absolutely spectacular. It's just like we're driving through a bloody painting. How cool. We're heading towards the gap. Apparently this is the gap they used to run the stock through years ago, and they've now put the road through. There's numerous mine sites off this main road. As Liz mentioned earlier, our understanding is that this is one of the few places that there's a gap in the Pilbara Range, and was used to drive cattle through at the turn of the century. Later on, Shady Gap was developed by Goldsworthy Mining Associates to service the iron ore mines in the area. Iron ore production started in 1973, and at its peak the town had a population of 850 people. Mining ceased in December 1993, and the town was closed in February 1994, with the buildings and structures either sold, demolished or relocated to Yarrie, which is approximately 35 kilometres to the southeast. We found a track off to the left and decided to follow it. It took us to a small campsite that we've marked for next time, as it would be a great place to capture the light hitting this red rock late in the afternoon and into the evening. Then it was on to Marble Bar. Well, we made Marble Bar for lunch, and a spot just out of town was recommended to us called Chinaman's Pool. Liz threw together a couple of chicken wraps as we checked out this place. Splashing the rock face with water reveals the true colours of the rock. Just mind-blowing. The town burned itself into the history books when residents endured the longest heatwave ever anywhere in the world. For 160 days in 1923 and 1924, Marble Bar recorded temperatures that breached the 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37.8 degrees Celsius, while the hottest days on record were in January 1905 and January 1922, when it reached a sweltering 49.2 degrees Celsius. Today, Marble Bar is home to around 410 residents and healthy gold, silver, copper and jade mining operations. In its mining heyday, it boasted a population of 5,000 following the discovery of gold in the early 1890s, when pioneers named the settlement after a formation of marble-like jasper nearby. Several gold nuggets were discovered as a result of the gold rush. Possibly the most famous building in town is the Ironclad Hotel, built in the 1890s, constructed of corrugated iron and given the name by American miners who were reminded of the ironclad ships from the United States. One last thing to do, fuel up and be on our way. Well guys, I don't know whether you can hear me or not above the bloody Gorillas, but we are now officially in the Pilbara. So I believe that anything south of Broome is considered the Pilbara, and now we are well and truly south of there. So we've travelled through from 80 Mile Beach to Marble Bar. Marble Bar, we had a bit of lunch, went down and took some photos at Marble down at the waterhole, and now we've made our way through to Jasper Springs, I think it's called, the free camp. Now just cast your eye on this. Well, they're noisy bloody things, but we've got a great little spot just set up, and we'll enjoy the rest of the afternoon. So what is it now, Liz? About 4, quarter to 4 or something?
Probably quarter to 4.
So, you know, we've had a fair lash at today. We had a couple of options, and this is sort of one of the options we had to stay. So it's worked out bloody great.
Tambina Creek.
Tambina Creek, sorry, it's not Jasper Springs. My mistake.
Tambina?
Tambina Creek is the name of the place. So basically we just hit the bitumen. The trucks, those big haul trucks, we were so lucky we never caught any of them. But they were pretty good. We did hear a couple on the radio, actually even letting people pass on the wrong side, because it saves, because of the way the wind was blowing, the dust will get in the road. But anyway, we're here now. It's nearly beer o'clock. In fact, it will be beer o'clock in about as long as it takes me to turn the camera off. All right, we're going to shoot the sunset, another one, and as we've said, you know, it's all about chasing sunsets on this trip, and we've seen some dead set crackers. On the next episode, we camp at one of the strangest places we've ever stayed. See some heavy equipment being transported, check out a couple of Western Australia's little gems, and find ourselves at what might be one of our best inland campsites. Until next time, stay safe and don't let the dust settle.